Hello. So I just wanted to do a video just to talk a little bit about LFS. So LFS is short for Li Fraumeni Syndrome, and it's LFS Awareness Month in March. So I just wanted to explain a little bit more about what it is, and just talk a little bit about my journey so far with this. So back in August, I got diagnosed with LFS. And because I got that diagnosis, I then automatically got enrolled on a screening program. And I had MRI scans in November. Those MRI scans showed up that I had a small tumour in my right breast, cancerous. So it's all been a bit of a whirlwind up until this point, because being diagnosed with something that you don't even know what it is is a bit wild, and it meant that me and my family had to sort of understand this LFS and do a lot of research, find out a lot more information into what it actually is. And when we did that, it transpires that this is a very rare genetic fault. So basically, you have TP53 in your body, and you get 50% of that from your mum and 50% of that from your dad. TP53 is a really good gene, so it suppresses tumours and cancer cells if they start to appear in your body, so it's a positive thing. If you inherit faulty TP53, then essentially you don't have a tumour suppressor. So that's exactly what's happened in my family. My mum unknowingly had this gene. She has then passed that down to me, unknowingly. And obviously it's come to light because of other family members getting cancer. So the scary thing is that they only offered it to us. It was lucky that they offered it to us, despite the fact that one of my family members was only 29 when she got breast cancer. And there's a long line of cancer within my family before that. But my young family member was told, actually, we don't think that you're going to qualify for this genetic testing for this particular gene because it's so rare and it's so unlikely. We're not sure you're going to qualify for it. Anyway, she did qualify for it. And that is how we found out that that is the gene that we've tested positive for in our family. So that's crazy in itself, really, because it just feels like we almost didn't know about this. I'm extremely grateful that I was offered screening, because my breast cancer was so small that it feels manageable, and it feels like, you know, it's been kept on top of, but it could have been very different. So I opted to have this DEP surgery, where they basically remove all the breast tissue, and they take skin, tissue and fat from my abdomen and move that to reconstruct my breasts. The other options that I was offered was breast implants, or to go flat, so just to have a double mastectomy and not have any reconstruction. So whilst I sort of found out that this was what I needed to do, we also had our little girl who's 3, Millie, tested and found out that she has this genetic fault as well. So that hit us like a ton of bricks, really, because when it's your child, nobody wants their child to be at risk of anything. So that was really hard. And, you know, Millie is going to have her own screening, which again was a very difficult decision to make. But we came to the conclusion that actually we need to protect her as much as we can. And the way to do that is to have screening and tackle this head on. So the reason that I'm so passionate about raising awareness of a couple of different things is primarily for my daughter. I want her to have a long life. I want her to be cancer free. I don't want her to have to worry about any of this stuff. And the other thing that I really want to raise awareness about is genetic testing and making sure that, you know, if you have a long line of history within your family, that you do know about genetic testing and that it's available, because I don't feel like it's being offered to everybody. I know we're going in the right direction and that is changing, and that's really great. But I just feel so strongly that it should be a much more common thing to enable people like my situation to detect cancer quickly and act on it quickly for longevity of life. The stats with LFS, we're still getting our heads around it all, because it's so high. It's 20% under the age of 5. If you've got LFS, will get cancer. By the age of 18, it goes to 40%. By the age of 40, it goes to 50%. And overall, it's a 75 to 100% chance of getting cancer in your lifetime. So that blows my mind, because obviously it's, you know, very, very, very high. And I just feel like if there's groups of people out there dealing with this, and I've read a lot of stories now, and, you know, it's people dealing with multiple cancers. I just feel like something has got to come, something positive has got to come out of this, and there has to be a solution on the horizon. They're actually doing a study, it's called the Millie study, ironically. And that study is where they're going to test metformin, so the diabetes medication, on LFS patients, to see whether that can slow or reduce the risk of getting cancer. So, you know, there's definitely proactive, positive movement with this. And I just have this burning desire with what me and my family have gone through and what we are going through. This is the start of our journey, to really try to, as I say, raise that awareness and make sure that people know that genetic testing is going to be the way forward, and that you can, you know, self-advocate and request it if you find yourself in a situation like this. So hopefully that's useful and gives a little bit of context into my story and what we're going through. And hopefully this video will help someone out there. Thanks for listening.